I'm Scott Trout, CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Contact CordellCordell.com, 1065 East Hillsdale Boulevard, Suite 310, Foster City, California, 94404.
Let's bullshit let's bullshit about the World Cup and soccer, and I'm an for making a kid cry during laser tag, and then we'll do health in a second.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Here we have Brian Moote.
This better not get me in trouble with my girlfriend.
And Brad Nolan.
No, my wife wants to flip the swinger switch.
Just two boys without man buns.
Tell you what's going to get me in trouble with my girlfriend when I talk about, later in the show, we're going to talk about the city of Charleston debating on whether they should apologize for slavery being the biggest import of slaves. And the conversation I had with my girlfriend about how she learned about the Civil War and what she thought it was about up until about, 6 months ago isn't super flattering.
We'll talk about that next. This is the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. I'm the Brad Nolan part. Text the word Moote to 36260 and you'll get a little surprise in your inbox.
Yeah, you can download my app. It's free. It doesn't take up any room on your phone. It's web-based. Also on the app, you can follow us all on Twitter, social media, whatever. And sometimes when we talk about stuff on the show, I'll put that as the first link on the podcast, so on the app. So if you go there, for example, right now, you can get a link to the worst acting job that Pat and I have ever done because I did it to him, getting him in a student film. I say student loosely because they were in their 40s, called McBuds. It is like the starving student movers when you get that company and like two 50-year-old men show up and you're like, what? What's going on?
It's the original version of Fameless. You just didn't know about it.
I actually want to thank you for saying that's one of the worst things I've ever done because there's way worse.
It's not?
No, not even close.
Let's do a little reminder of what it sounded like.
I was pretty good.
I can't believe we get paid to get people high. I mean, does it get any better than this?
No.
I could be boning a kinky contortionist.
I didn't write those words.
Wow, that was
Dude, we've got serious problems. We just got bought by corporate cannabis.
God, I'm such a good
Best
actor.
Buds? It's turning into Mick Buds.
Here comes a big line right here.
I'm gonna need a bigger bong.
Nailed it! Oh, yeah! Somebody get that kid an agent.
Jeez, who wouldn't? As I'm staring at the camera, we're gonna need a bigger bong. And you got to know that that's a line from Jaws.
Yeah, and you want to know Brian? He's such a square. He mispronounced bong.
I probably did say bung.
Bunga. I'm gonna need a bigger bunga. What's a bunga?
Currently, I am standing in the studio with an M shaved in the back of my head, which is an experience because I lost betting. I bet on Germany in the World Cup over Mexico. And that was dumb because Germany apparently decided they didn't care about statistics and the odds. And they decided they just wouldn't play and lose and force me as a white man to get something written in the back of my head, which is always an uncomfortable experience.
And it looks a little bit racist on you.
What does it look like? That changes my life, man. Here I've been walking around thinking I just look like a douchebag.
Honestly, I thought you had some butchered brain surgery.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
It looks like a weird scar.
That's Jordan Solly, former intern on the Burt Show in Atlanta, now currently going to make it in Hollywood. Or maybe not.
As an intern on this show?
He's a lifetime intern right now and a game show star. Listen on the next episode later this week and you'll be able to hear Jordan's success on Wheel of Fortune. Well, actually, he made a couple grand, but he also lost. He took it to a girl from San Diego State.
So those girls from San Diego State.
So I have an M shaved in the back of my head. Everyone, listen, this whole World Cup thing. I know, Pat, are you excited for World Cup still at all?
Yes.
Is it the bets? How much have you lost? How much are you down?
That's not important. What's important is that despite the money I've lost, I'm still having fun watching the world compete and not having to root for America.
Brad, this is why
he never spells addiction properly.
How do you do
He
that?
always spells it with other words. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
What's addiction?
You're the
A
reason.
dictionary?
People like you are
dictionary
the
is
people are like you are the reason that Vegas is the amazing monstrosity that it is.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
you go out there and you lose $5,000. And you're like, but I had a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's like $5,000 in fun, man.
First of all, I don't have $5,000, so I lose like $5, but that's still like 5% of my net worth, which is devastating.
Yeah, Pat's not real liquid right now.
No, I'm not very liquid right now. I'm not.
Well, unless you consider that. Never mind.
Yeah, bowel
We'll get
movements.
we're going to get into his health later in the show, as well as
Gross, Brad.
Hopefully, Brad got a clean bill of health.
First of all, everyone's butthurt about America not making the cup.
Right, as we should
But
be.
here's the thing. Who wants to root for America right now? As an American, it's really hard to be like, yeah, let's wave this flag around.
That sounds like that's on you, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm cool with being all about Peru because their top player got suspended right before thing for testing positive for cocaine. I think he's cool.
Pat likes the guys who party.
I do.
That's why you should be on board with the whole Mexican team.
Yeah, that's why you should be on board with Trump. What are you talking about?
Okay.
That guy's partied better than anyone in this room.
Before he was president, I was very Trump. I was a Trumpster. I was all Trump.
That guy's partied so
It
hard
just now is like, you
in
know.
Russia that he is he can't not like people are like why is he defending Russia? Because Russia has some tapes of him doing some creepy stuff to hookers, man.
He probably is the reason they didn't get into the World Cup. He's like, we can't have America in the World Cup. This will be huge. This will be a huge problem for me. I can't go back to Russia. I can't.
I told Putin
And I can't show up there.
that we would not be in the World Cup this year.
I promised Putin we wouldn't go.
We will not collude.
I think it stinks for America not to be in it, but it's like, dude, you did it to yourself. Screw it, whatever.
You stink.
But you do have a big M shaved into the back of your head because you bet that Mexico would lose the game on Germany on June 17th. Statistically correct. That should have been a safe bet.
Germany should have just mopped the floor with them.
But you did some research and found out that for some weird reason, Mexico's never lost a game on June 17th.
Mexico has never lost an international game on June 17th. They've had nothing but the biggest upsets on June 17th. And I think Germany knew that because they didn't seem like they cared. They were like, as soon as I saw the Twitter video going viral of the Mexican grandmother just, blessing everyone on the screen, it's over. It's a wrap, dude. No Germans doing that. They're all sitting there going like, "Wer Gott defends a game!"
I mean, if you're German, aren't you always waiting for like the hammer to drop on karma? Like, oh man, this is very, very, I'm very nervous right now.
What was that Berlin newspaper that said, we're going to put up the wall?
Right.
Oh, God.
Like,
no,
dude,
don't say that.
You guys had a wall taken down by us, you idiots.
One of the most famous quotes ever.
These millennial
Mr.
writers.
Something, tear down this.
You're true. That is something that is such a millennial thing where they're like, yeah, let's make a wall joke. And everyone's like, man, that's not a good joke for us. Also, you guys, we don't really have the international position to be like really being dicks to third world countries right now. People with any sort of pigmentation or cold. You know what? Let's just err on the side of gracious loser, gracious winner. Every time we talk, it sounds like we're screaming. It sounds like a rally's going to break out.
Yeah, the headline should have been, we welcome people who look like you with open arms.
We're just up for friendly competition. Every game's a friendly for us because we're Germany.
Even though you're right. You were saying the other day their outfits, what were you saying about?
These look like the evil empire. Their jerseys are always black, and they've got like a crazy like looking dragon bird on their things. No, man, you need a unicorn on your jersey. Like every one of the jerseys should be a different Care Bear symbol on it because Germany just cannot be mean.
It's like
You're not allowed.
Germany every year has the person who designed the costumes for Mighty Ducks, who did the bad ones. Like, we like those ones. The black ones, Iceland. That's nice. It's very nice and inviting.
Cartoon dragon bird. I don't know what accent I just did right there. But.
What are we, bad German. What are we talking about next?
All right,
what do we want to do next?
Next, you know what? Look, we're going to get your guys' health updates because I have a feeling that's going to be forever. Patrick we're going to tell us about how much his colonoscopy cost, which is roughly the same as a high-end BMW.
It's more than I made last year.
And we're going to find out why when Brad talks,
$30, that's it, huh?
We're going to find out why when Brad talks and breathes out, it sounds like he's got a barbecue inside his lungs. And slavery.
Oh, God.
Apologizing for slavery. Okay?
That is a loaded tease.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah,
Come back.
I really like that.
Everyone's going to tune in for that. They went from German being Care Bears to slavery? This show got weird.
Brian Moote is a stand-up comedian. Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
I'm the Brad Nolan part, at Brad Nolan on Twitter and Instagram and all over the place. But if you want to get a hold of Brian directly, text the word Moote, M-O-O-T-E, to 36260.
It's the easiest way to track me down. You can track me down via text, too.
That way, that's how I get a hold of him.
No, just text me on my phone. Yeah. On my cell phone. We have Pat Moote in studio. We also have Jordan Solly hanging out. He's going to be in the new... I don't know. I don't want to call him an intern because he's bigger than that. We don't want to. We want him to break out of his intern shell.
Yeah.
He'll get a microphone eventually. Right now, he's just got headphones.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's going to make a Lewinsky joke. I couldn't find it, and I just put it back on the table.
God, yeah.
It's also...
We don't think we have
too soon.
We don't have the HR department for Lewinsky jokes right now.
We don't have an HR department.
That's a good point. All right, so we're going to talk about Pat and Brad's health woes in a second here. But first, this story I thought was fascinating, and even more fascinating has been the backlash. And I guess growing up on the West Coast, I really don't understand. And we have Jordan's Southerner, so we'll get his input here in a second. But Charleston, the city of Charleston, South Carolina, today the city council is issuing an apology to the residents of Charleston, who I'm just going to say probably the black residents. I don't really think they're apologizing to the white ones about slavery, but they're apologizing for their role in slavery as a city. Now, a lot of cities in the South have started doing that. Like, hey, listen, as a city entity, we're sorry. Our bad. We should probably apologize for that. And the reason... Yep. Hey, get over it, right, guys? We're good.
Yeah, done.
Good news. We stopped being racist. Come on, everyone.
That's not what's happening. Let's
go golf and eat hamburgers.
That's one of the criticisms of it. What I find interesting, though, so Charleston is the statistically the largest. They had the largest number of slaves imported or abducted and brought to Charleston. Imported sounds awful. That's not
the largest in the whole situation
in the country. Yeah, so it's over 200,000 recorded, but that doesn't.
Oh, that's not even close.
That doesn't mean the full number that happened. It also doesn't mean the ones that didn't make the trip. They didn't survive the trip. That happened to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Here's what I thought was interesting, and it confuses me. Is that there is this weird, indignant backlash from white folk in the South saying like we shouldn't have to apologize for that, man. That wasn't us. Which I mean, I guess you're right. It wasn't you. But why do you care if the city takes an official stance of yo, we're sorry we engaged in that? Like that's not human rights wise. That's terrible. And this apology does nothing except let we officially recognize probably a bad side of history to be on, looking back at it now. Because, of course, like Pat said, no one's there's still racism. It's not like you get the apology and everyone's like, all right, good.
And honestly,
all of our problems are solved.
The only way to sound racist in this scenario is to say we shouldn't have to say this. I mean, everybody else is like, no, that was bad.
Yeah, that was
bad. We
agree.
Board.
You shouldn't have to say this, but we shouldn't have had slavery.
Sure.
So we did, and as a city,
we're sorry.
I saw some tweets of people going like, I ain't sorry about something I didn't do. Well, where the hell is your compassion for people who look back? And that was an awful part of history for us. And, hundreds of thousands of people were treated as inventory and forced to work and murdered. And it just
And the only way to make it sound like it was actually a problem that was true and you should apologize for is not being willing to apologize for it now.
Right.
Because it's bad. Like, now all that time has passed. It's easy to look back and be like, yes, that was wrong. Our ancestors, sure, we'll apologize for them. The only way to make it sound like you were doing something wrong and now you're trying to cover up for it is be like, I'm not apologizing for that. My grandfather wasn't wrong. He was just a jerk.
How many states did it before? How many cities did it before this?
I believe it was like 5 or 6 pretty big ones. And I think it's usually more that are statistically, in terms of demographics, lean more towards African American folks than white people. And it's,
so the real criticism should be what took you so long. Not we don't have to apologize.
Right,
that should be the
exactly. It's to me, I'm shocked that they're even still debating it.
I'm flip-flopping right now entirely and just saying like, oh really? You're gonna fix it with an apology now? Yeah. Good luck.
So from So when it comes to the South, and I think I want to ask Jordan this question too, because I noticed when I was down there in Atlanta, especially like in cities where there was slavery, that there is this weird kind of like, oh, we know it existed, but we kind of don't really bring it up because we're all trying to get along down here. And in Savannah, especially, there was this. They had these like down by the docks. They had these big. Like cavey storage things, but they had like where bars would be, or like iron bars, not drinking bars, and clearly for holding people. And you going down this like cobblestone road, and each sign, like they'd have like a little plaque telling you, oh, and this is how it was designed, and then the last one was like the fourth one. They're like, and the rumor was that maybe slaves were held here, but we're not really sure. We can't verify that, so don't worry about it. Just keep moving on. And my girlfriend and I were driving out there, Jessica, and we started talking about the Civil War, and she was like, yeah, it was over states' rights, and I was like, yeah, to have slaves. She's like, no, but it's just states' rights in general. Like we wanted to have our own rights. I'm like, yeah, to have slaves. She's like, no, I mean, yes, slaves were part of it, but it wasn't the only thing. And I was like, that's hilarious because on the West Coast, that's all we hear about is like it was about slavery. So, Jordan, when you learned about the Civil War, how did you learn it?
No, I was just going to say it, and my whole family will say the same thing. It was over taxes.
Taxes?
Right.
Yeah, taxes because they had slaves?
And that's my argument is, okay, what do you think those tax incentives are coming from?
Well, I went,
the labor that...
I went to school in Pennsylvania. And we learned that slavery was one of the three things, right? Just happened to be on a list of three, usually at the bottom of the list.
Sure.
First was taxation without representation, right?
Yeah.
The whole concept that the representation they were getting was not adequate.
Yeah, it didn't represent what them.
Exactly. And by the way, that has to do with slavery as well, the 3/5 compromise, all that stuff. And then also the other thing was states' rights, as in states have autonomy over their own law.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And then also there was the slavery thing that was happening.
See, that's so, I mean, it's awesome.
And that's a northern state. I mean, that's Pennsylvania, right?
Right.
That's full on blue. There's no gray there.
Yeah. I you know what? Maybe it's not so much, because I thought of it being a South versus North educational thing. Maybe it's a East versus West.
I think it is.
Because of, Washington's only been around since 1889. Like, that's when it became a state. And by that point in time, slavery was done. The country was, at that point, to get to the West Coast took forever. So I feel like it was so much of an easier stance for teachers to say, oh, slavery happened out there. That's why the Civil War happened. Slavery over there.
Yeah.
There. Not
full
here.
Full-blown hindsight from day one.
Over here, we were busy chasing all those natives out of here.
Oh, yeah,
just very casually giving them blankets covered in smallpox like good friends.
that part
like
of history
buddies.
is, I think, where we have the blind spot on the West Coast.
So look over there. Look over there.
So for some reason, reservations, people are just like, well, I don't get it, man. You got your land. It's like, these people, drive through Oklahoma and you'll realize not only why Native Americans just got screwed so bad, but also why they should be so much more angry than they are. When you're driving through central Oklahoma and you go, oh, the Seminole Reservation. Hey, wait a minute. What's that Florida State team on the... Oh, my God.
How'd they get all the way here?
Yeah.
We made them walk. We made them walk.
This seems like kind of a weird move. You were on the beach and now you're in the middle of the country? And I think it's interesting because you look at it like that's... In parts of the country, you got to teach history like that to kids just so they can process the atrocities until they become adults. Problem is, when people become adults, they don't read either. So
that's true.
Then we just listen to some tyrants.
Trump for America. We'll do the health update next. We'll do the health update next.
Brad, I didn't say Trump. I said tyrants.
No, I said Trump.
He said Trump.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm going on the record.
And Brad's a libertarian.
I am.
Lawless.
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
What's up? I'm Brad Nolan. Brian Moote is here.
I do love that, the way our music comes there. It's like, bam!
Yeah.
It sounds like if we were doing this live, sometimes I envision this. If we were doing this live, at Staples Center, or some major arena. Like,
ladies and gentlemen.
Dark. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, fireworks would blow off there.
And then we both walk out in leather pants. We're like, yeah!
And there's that cool band Barcode playing the music live for us. Remember Barcode?
Oh boy, can you turn his microphone off?
Yeah, it's off.
You don't get to just drop your friend's crappy band. He's looking to see when his microphone turns back on. He wants to rebut.
This is Pat Moote is also in studio.
Well, it's not just crappy. It's really crappy.
That was
it's so bad that it's good.
So real quick, now we got to tell a story about Barcode. Now we got to talk about...
No, hold on. We could just do this.
Oh, we're going to start over? You're right.
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
You know, sometimes when I envision that music, I envision us being at Staples. I'm kidding.
This is a stupid way to start it, so don't blame me.
Do it. Let's do a health update. Where are we going to start with that? I'm Brad. That's Brian. Go ahead and say something so they know what your voice sounds like.
You know what? Let's start with your health update because you're fresh out of the doctor's office, and I think the reason that you got your checkup is hilarious. To scam your way out of a gym membership. Kidding.
That's part of it.
And then Pat's update is also going to be, we're talking about something we're going to do on an episode later this week, too. So we'll do him at the end. Pat's colon cancer update.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, got a little shot today, which is important. Can you see it?
Wait, I was like, you got a tattoo?
It was a tattoo appointment.
They gave you a bad tattoo at the doctor's office?
It's not that bad.
Gave you
it's not done. And it commemorates my dead friend.
Oh, okay.
Geez,
my bad.
son.
Dang it.
Setting a shot today because apparently I was overdue for that. How often do you have to do that?
Every 10 years.
I felt like every time you just got bit by a dog or stepping on a nail or something.
That's what I thought. Is it every 10?
It's every 10.
So I got that. So here's the deal. I go to the doctor's office. I'm there just to basically get a note to get out of my gym membership.
Because you have what? Fibromyalgia?
Yeah, I do. Which the cure for is working out.
So wait, so that's a disease you get from just being lazy and smoking cigarettes?
No, it's like arthritis, but throughout your whole body, and it's like a nerve problem.
Oh God, it sounds like a painful thing.
It is. It is very painful, and I haven't taken medication for it since I'm 15 because I don't like doctors. But Pat has inspired me to maybe get back on the doctor train a little bit.
Yeah.
So, also my wife kind of scammed me into the appointment. It's a whole story that you can listen to on a different podcast.
Sadness will be your strength.
What? Now you are like operating on a different planet today.
Yeah, that's right.
So I go in there and I sit down. Very nice doctor's office in Beverly Hills. And I sit down, which was a little bit uncomfortable because the chairs are uncomfortable because it's nice. It's a nice looking place. And so I sit down and she's like, go through my whole medical history at the front desk, which I thought was a little odd.
That does sound weird.
Because I haven't been to the doctor in a long time. So I'm like, well, double check, make sure all this is right. I was like, can we just do this?
Yeah, can you just check me out?
Yeah.
I mean, just listen to me. I sound like...
Can I just wait till the nurse calls me in the back? So I go back there and they know what I'm there for. They know I'm there to get a note. And they know I'm there to get some help quitting smoking, and to check up on my fibromyalgia. So we sit down. I'm like, okay, let's write the note for you. And they write the note. The nurse writes the note. Okay, and she does all the checking up and everything. Blood pressure's a little high, just so you know. But good news, 15% body fat.
Oh my God! No way! Really?
Yeah, 15%.
That's impossible.
Okay, because you look exactly the same.
Pat,
that is okay.
I have a doctor's note that says.
Because I'm not gonna lie, Brad, you look fatter.
No,
you look a little fatter.
And then the doctor comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm not going to write this. No, I'm not going to finish writing this. No."
Whoa! So he's not going to write to get out of the gym membership?
Yeah, she. Don't be sexist. She.
Wow. You're right,
Big leap. You're going back to the gym.
Just settle down. You are yelling over everybody today. You know what? Well, that's what we get for doing prank calls before a show. He's all out of his element. Wait. So I feel like that would be the way you tell the story. That's pretty callous as somebody. I feel like a woman would never approach it that awful.
Yeah, she was definitely Asian. I'm not trying to stereotype. So you went sexist and then I went racist. Okay, good. Here's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. No, the thing was she was very like, see, the thing that helps fibromyalgia is to be fitter and do more exercise. I can't write this note.
Oh, I love that. She cares.
Yeah, I mean that
cares about you.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I explained to her I'm working out at home, which I am.
Yeah.
6 days a week the last 2 weeks, and I don't need the gym membership, and it's costing me money.
Right.
And then you know what her answer was? Well, good thing we're going to quit that smoking.
Oh no.
Yes.
Dang, so this whole thing backfired on Nikki pretty good because your wife, because you said you could have gotten a note without the appointment.
Yes.
From somebody to get out of the gym membership. And then she was like, well, watch me be like slick and get you in for other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you don't get the note. So now you're still a member at Equinox Fitness?
Yeah, I'm still a member for a solid $200+ a month.
Wow, you guys got the family deal.
At $400 a month.
Oh, man.
What are the odds that Nikki set you up in this whole thing?
No, she tried to get, like, she tried, kind of, but now it's backfired. Now she's like, uh-oh.
Oh, it backfired on her? Okay.
Yeah, because she
that's the
wanted
whole
the
thing.
note. At the end of the day, she wanted the note, but she also wanted me to go into the doctor.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she won the doctor part, failed the note part. And so, so they were like, and they went over, we're going to do some blood work and stuff like that, but the fibromyalgia's been pretty bad lately. And I had to stop I used to take antidepressants.
You're just a big basket of problems.
Oh, yeah.
Coming from you, buddy.
Well, here's the thing. I had to stop taking the antidepressants when I got my pilot's license because the FAA doesn't approve antidepressants in your body to be a pilot.
I mean,
why would
actually,
they? Hold on. Hold on.
They're behind the curve on mental health.
Yeah, I get it if it's because they don't want you taking drugs that have a side effect of drowsiness,
Which is the case.
Fine, I understand
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want somebody who's got clinical depression behind the wheel of the plane, or the joystick, whatever you call it, who's having a serious down, and is like, you know what, I'm going down, and so's everyone else in this Cessna. It's over.
I mean,
Thankfully.
no. Before you fly that plane, why don't you get off your meds? Okay?
No, thankfully, I was on a super low dose of it, so it was really being used for sleep and to balance me a little bit because I have low-grade depression, which just means constant, always there, but not really I'm not like in a dark room by myself.
I mean,
depressed,
based on everything you've just told us, you should, have a little bit of depression.
Pat's like, I'm listening to the reality of your life.
No, that's fair, Brad. That's fair. No. Keep going. I'm
So
just
now
proud that you don't have a lot of depression.
So now they're like, well,
surviving.
Now they're like, what you really need is to see rheumatology. So they wasted an hour of my time today, and they said you need to see rheumatology. So now I have to set up an appointment I can't get in for like 2 months. And so now I'm just going to kind of have to deal with the stuff I'm dealing with, which is a lot of pain.
To get into a rheumatist?
Rheumatologist, yeah. It's the specialist that deals with lupus and fibromyalgia.
So you and your wife can have the same doctor.
We do
man.
now.
This is like pretty cool.
Yeah, we do now.
So I
2
guess,
months.
the silver lining in this is now you guys only have to make one appointment for the both of you.
And I can't hide anything anymore.
No, you can't. You
That's
can't.
good.
I'll tell you what.
Medically?
If you want to see a doctor fast, all you got to do is walk in there and drop the C-bomb. Tell you what, you just say cancer, and they start doing stuff
I think
for
I
you
have
real
wrist
fast.
cancer.
They start.
I've got whatever. I've got cancer that I
You'd
can't
be
go to the gym
surprised.
for.
I can get these doctors. They'll be like, no, he's filled up until like October. It's like, I have cancer. They're like, he could see you Tuesday.
That's so weird.
Tuesdays.
It's not funny because my wife will call because she has
Terrifying.
lupus, severe lupus.
Right.
And when she calls, they're like, how's Wednesday? It's like Tuesday afternoon. She's like, you want to come in tomorrow morning? And when they called for me, they're like, August, September?
Yeah.
How's that feel?
It's not because they care about you. It's because they hear the C word or the L word or any word that involves an expensive, lengthy treatment process, and they go, get this guy in as soon as possible because we just found ourselves a lifetime patient. All right.
Excuse me, Mr. Cash
Literally.
Cow. I mean, moo. Get over here.
Well, so the new plan for me is I have to go see the rheumatologist. I got to get my stuff under control because I'm having a huge fibromyalgia flare right now. But the new plan is I used to have, as of last week, I lost a job that I have. I technically lost a job I have. Okay,
So that's bringing back the depression.
It's not
right, but also
Was it
one
father?
of the bullet points in the fine print at the gym, job loss.
Oh no! There we go.
They
You
don't
found
even
your
know I
loophole.
kept the big job.
Yeah, they just know you lost a job.
Yeah, I lost a job. I lost my job. I'm no longer getting that. So therefore, I think I'm still gonna be able to get out of the gym.
All right, you found your way out of that gym.
Yeah,
And right into rheumatoid rheumology.
sure.
What is that? What is it? The rheumatist? Rheumatologist. Right into that doctor's office with
Yeah.
Nikki. You guys can sit there. Man, Declan's going to look at you guys like, my parents are a mess.
She's probably gonna be a mess, unfortunately. Poor thing.
What's the over-under on one of those? What, you guys betting more lupus or fibromyalgia?
Well, technically, lupus is not genetic, although the highest concentration of lupus in the world exists in the Pacific Northwest, where Nikki is from.
thank God you guys got out of there.
And her sister has it,
Dang.
and they say it's not genetic.
Sounds like they might want to reevaluate that.
Yeah. So I think she'll probably definitely have arthritis, some sort of junior rheumatoid type thing.
You know what?
That's I
People who are perfect, who don't have anything, they're the worst.
Yeah.
Right?
Man.
You know?
It's like live forever, all healthy and shit.
I know. Gross. Those are the worst people.
So what's your update in 30 seconds?
Still have cancer.
Solid update.
Do we have an update for the next episode?
Yeah. Oh man, colonoscopies very expensive.
Oh, do we want to just cover that right now?
Well, we want to talk to his billing department. We have a call into him because it was $67,000, and we want to find out why.
$67,000 colonoscopy.
On the next episode, we grill the billing department. What the hell did that cost for?
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
Don't miss Old Navy's Saturday Steal. This Saturday, all jeans are on sale for 50% off. Plus, get $3 kids deals like graphic tees and tanks and $7 girls dresses. Saturday only at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 8/3. Excludes in-store clearance. Select styles on kids deals and girls dresses.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the all-new Pit Smoked Brisket. How would you like it?
I'll take a man who knows what's what.
Y'all know what? The all-new Pit Smoked Brisket at Subway is smoked slower than a slug going up a down escalator, that's what. I'm talking tender, juicy brisket, naturally pit smoked for at least 13 hours. What's more, it's got layer after layer of smoky flavor. Smoked cheddar and barbecue sauce on delicious Italian bread. Subway, make it what y'all want, what not. Limited time only at participating restaurants.